This week on Local 10, we showed you how several South Florida communities claim their property management company is making their lives' finances miserable.
And tonight, investigative reporter Amy Viteri reveals how the complicated task of breaking free from these companies is where the real nightmares actually begin.
We got rid of BDM, thank God. It was hard work, but a group effort.
These neighbors sharing their fight to take control of their community after they say their property management company held them hostage for years. Previously, we reported on the many South Florida communities managed by BDM Property Management. Separate properties where owners all say they never elected their board, and property manager Mike Curtis blocked them from holding elections.
All while thousands of dollars in association fees went unaccounted for and liens kept piling up.
It was sham elections. All we knew about was after the fact that these people were on the board.
Oren Green lives at the Fairways of Sunrise. In July of 2020, neighbors here fought back. With no way to hold elections, they filed to recall the unwanted board and chose new board members. But the old board and Curtis wouldn't go quietly.
We don't want you here. We don't want you here. Why don't you leave?
We don't want you guys on
Stand down.
Frustrations boiled over at this community meeting months after the recall. Curtis in the light shirt and glasses and the recalled board refusing to step down. The case went to court, and in October 2021, a judge upheld the recall, stripping the prior board of power. The community is now suing BDM for negligence, and records revealed in court have raised even more concerns.
We realized he wasn't doing a good job and he was robbing us.
Financial statements show since 2018, hundreds of thousands of dollars in HOA funds were spent with no clear documentation on what.
They had to borrow $1 million to do the roofs.
Neighbors say they learned after the fact the association took out a loan to cover damage from Hurricane Irma, shocked because they were expecting repairs to be covered by an insurance settlement. Court records show in 2020 the Fairways HOA did receive $440,000 from that Irma settlement. Money owners say they never saw. Bank records from that month show a check from the HOA to BDM for $439,000, nearly the exact amount. Curtis, who's also suing the Fairways over his termination, explained the payment in an email to Local 10, writing in part, "The amount paid to BDM was almost 4 years of contractual obligations due by the association."
You've been managing this complex for 4 years, and you have not been getting paid. We're not stupid.
They've passed laws that says there could be civil penalties, criminal liability. That's great. Who's out there checking?
Condo law attorney David Haber says when it comes to investigating HOAs and property management companies, Florida has a resource problem.
The Department of Professional Regulation is there to enforce rules, but they don't have the money for all the investigators needed in all of the counties in Florida.
The DBPR's alleged shortcomings are well documented. Back in 2016, a grand jury in Miami-Dade issued a scathing report calling the DBPR ill-suited to police or prioritize HOA issues, suggesting investigations be handled by another department.
The DBPR needs to parse out, and the Division of Condominiums needs to be its own department. There's so many people living in condominiums.
Just last month, residents of another BDM-managed community went to DBPR's office in Fort Lauderdale after being unable to hold elections. They were told to file a complaint online.
So why are we paying taxes in the state of Florida to have an office here in Broward County with investigators if they're not going to investigate anything?
The facts are on our side. I'd like to see all the communities that he's hurting be reimbursed.
I'm saying to these other communities, stick it out. Don't give up.
Amy Viteri, Local 10 News.
We requested an interview with the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, but were told no one was available. A spokesperson tells Local 10 the agency has over 140 employees within the Division of Condominiums that work on a wide range of issues, and says they are still reviewing current complaints against Mike Curtis and BDM. We reached out to Curtis for an interview, but his attorney demanded we cease and desist from contacting him.